Okay, let's maybe talk about who do you think won this inclusion of cricket into the Olympics? I want to frame it as there are two parties in this. There
Mhm.
is which is the Olympic Committee. This time it's the Los Angeles Olympic Committee. We saw the numbers from a broadcasting standpoint. They're probably going to earn about 170, 180 more million dollars than the Paris Olympics, which is just going to happen next year,
Mhm.
which is a no-brainer. Like honestly, like I'm now thinking, hey, Paris folks, what are you guys doing? Why didn't you include cricket if you could pocket a couple more hundred million dollars? But
$1 million.
it's what it is, I guess. So that's one side
Mhm.
where the IOC stands to gain a bunch. And then there is the side of the ICC, which is trying to expand its audience more than just the current set of countries that are playing. It gets to portray the sport to the Americans and then probably much more people worldwide as well. Who do you think this benefits more? What's your point of view on how this is going to elevate the Olympics, elevate cricket?
Yeah. I think IOC is going to be the biggest benefactor from this exercise. I think it's a I mean, from a monetization standpoint, it's such a no-brainer, right? $170 million not a small is not a small amount. I think it's not going to stop there, right? I think imagine the amount of dollars that are going to be pumped in from all the associated sponsors who back cricket currently, right? You have the biggest advertiser in the world backing Virat Kohli and Ravindra Jadeja, or you have
Ben
like
Stokes, maybe,
Ben
for
Stokes, yeah,
instance. Yeah.
absolutely. Red Bull, which is another global advertiser, and we have like New Balance supporting the entire country of Australia. So it's not going to stop. It's a juggernaut of money, which is going to roll over to IOC, right? And ICC is just a great channel to work with, right? And again, ICC has a very strong connection with India in general. So we're going to funnel about.
What do you mean, Samba? What do you mean by that?
Let's keep that for another session. But yeah, it's just the rolling juggernaut of cricket is going to just enable, and I don't think it's going to it's going to benefit everyone, right? Like from IOC standpoint, ICC standpoint, and even the smaller countries, right? I think what's going to happen is ICC funds a lot of grassroots cricket, right? It's going to enable a lot more countries to develop cricket at the end of the day. So all this money that is facilitated from IOC is going to eventually go to PNG, Papua New Guinea, or Fiji, where there's so much.
Tell me, how do you think that's happening, Samba? Like the way that I understand it, this broadcast rights and the advertising sponsorships, all of this is gonna fill the coffers of the Olympic Committee. So how is this gonna, come back to, let's say, improving cricket in the Netherlands or improving cricket in Papua New Guinea and places of this nature?
Hey, fantastic question, Srinath. But I think I really hope ICC has worked out some kind of I wouldn't say a kickback, but a value proposition that they can benefit out of this exercise, right? It has to drive more growth towards enablement for countries which has lesser infrastructure from a cricket standpoint. So I really believe that ICC is going to benefit directly from a monetization standpoint on this, and then they further expand their grassroots initiatives. But this is a point that they need to start thinking about, right? Like, hey, how is this global fame of just being in Olympics going to help? If ICC has that mission to reach out to 5 billion people in 2032, I think they need to start thinking about this right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. I haven't seen any reporting, any plans on how ICC kind of benefits from this, monetarily, for instance. So, I mean, I'll reserve my judgment on that, but I completely agree with you on it is a no-brainer for the IOC.
Mhm.
I was just looking up the last two, three Olympics and what the broadcasting revenues for those last two, three Olympics were. 2012 was the London Olympics. Where was it in 2016 again?
I think it might be Rio.
Rio, and 2020 in Tokyo. As with generally how sports, broadcasting rights have been, the Olympics broadcasting rights have also, increased with every
Yeah.
Olympics. And the figures are of the tune of 2.5 2 to 2.5 billion dollars as the overall broadcasting rights for the Olympics
Yeah.
sold worldwide. That's the Olympics job. Figure out in which country, how are they going to best negotiate these deals so that each
Yep.
country will show it to their own like population. So from that standpoint, they were selling it for a $19 million, and if they're able to sell it for $180 million to the Indian population,
Yeah.
it is a bloody big win. I mean, think about it, like let's say $200 million versus $2.5 billion. That's
Yeah.
like an 8 to 10% addition with just one country.
Yeah.
IOC is a mega winner from this. It is a money grab, a no-brainer of a money grab that has just been sitting there, which I don't understand why it's not been, as I said, done before. Well played, LA 28.
Correct.
It makes all the sense. And on top of all of that, they've positioned it as though the ICC is the one winning it and not the IOC. Well played in every way to the LA 28
Yeah.
organizing committee. My winner is, of course, the IOC, but
Yeah.
I feel like my winners for from this thing happening, Neeraj Chopra, PV Sindhu, the 4 into 400 meter relay group that just won bronze in the Asian Games. All of these folks now have literally 3, 4, 500 more million people tuning in to watch them perform.
Yeah.
Earlier, it was an incredibly hard thing to even know where the Olympics was playing.
Yeah.
How do I find which competition was going to happen when, etc., etc. Now that cricket is part of it, you can be rest assured that it's going to be on streaming, and you're going to have 20
Yeah.
channels showing all different sports, and you're going to know exactly when
Yeah.
javelin throw competition is going to be, so you
Yep.
can watch Neeraj Chopra. You're going to know exactly when PV Sindhu is going to be playing badminton. You're going
Yep.
to know exactly when the shooting competition is happening. These guys to me are the biggest winners because it just brings so many more eyeballs to them,
Yep.
because now cricket's part of it and it's going to be advertised the heck out,
Yep.
whoever wins the broadcast rights for it.
Yeah. And hey, Srinath, you brought up a brilliant point, yeah, right? Like I think just more people watching different sports, right? I think it goes back to the point that you were making when you were discovering Olympics, right? Like just like you and your brother, like when you were young, you were discovering diving, right? What if like this Olympics, just because of the sheer democracy and the width of how it operates, it is like someone in Trichy, someone in like Kerala looks at diving, and it's like, hey, this is a sport that I want to pick up. This is so cool. Or like imagine like someone in Meghalaya looking at gymnastics and like, hey, this is my sport, man. This is just brings the right energy. I don't, again, I'm a little optimistic in terms of what it can bring into India as a juggernaut, but I think it just brings sports into the houses of millions of viewers in India. Let me be selfish. And it's going to bring a new generation of people who are going to adopt sports, right? We were never a sports first nation, unlike Australia or like any other country, right? I feel like this brings more sports by the sheer addition of cricket into a lot of homes and a lot of youngsters. I think that's a great win.
This I absolutely agree with. Yeah, I mean, I am a big supporter of the fact that if I could play four more sports while I was growing up, I would have done it. And I think anyone who plays sports while they're growing up just has a better way of looking at successes and failures and things of
Yeah,
that nature. So I'm a big, big, big proponent of
yeah.
folks playing more sports when they grow up. And yes, it's gonna be a win from that standpoint. I completely agree.